with that out of the way, we can dive right into this Kyrie situation. And this segment was sort of inspired by an interview that he held in a press conference where where he was asked a question on the narratives that were floating about him. And Kyrie recently told reporters about how he felt about all of this negativity, and this was the exact quote. He said, quote, "I think if you look at some of the guys on our team, we've dealt with a lot of naysayers, a lot of critiques, and a lot of noise, just like other teams, but I think specifically with us, somehow I was called a chaos agent for a little bit, and there was the narrative that I'm a locker room cancer. All these things that ended up becoming just these run-a-show media pundits. And I didn't want to be the butt of anyone's joke. I don't mind being the butt of anyone's joke, but not at the expense or consequence of my teammates' success and our success as an organization. I've just taken a lot of hits, learned how to hit back, learned how to protect myself, learned how to protect my brothers and my sisters, and keep the main thing the main thing." This is what Kyrie told reporters earlier. So the whole circus thing going around with Kyrie, it's sort of like it's been a thing going on ever since he left LeBron James to go play for the Boston Celtics. This thought that Kyrie Irving is a, quote, locker room cancer, end quote, has been much more popular in the given years, ever since after LeBron. And so before LeBron, when he was on Cleveland and he stayed on Cleveland, there was zero controversy around Kyrie Irving. The only real controversy that I could really think of was when Kyrie said that the earth was flat, and he thought that the earth was flat. He wanted to stir something up with the media, and he sort of just said this. He doesn't really believe it. He just knew that the media would react a certain way and wanted to get some reactions. That's literally what he confirmed with later on in his life. And obviously, when you do this, it's why? Why do you even bother doing this? Why do you bother saying something that you know is untrue, but you know it's going to ruffle some feathers? And I really don't understand, the thought process behind that, what Kyrie wanted to do. But and this is sort of why he got that chaos agent nickname, because he said this for essentially no reason. He doesn't believe it, and he knows other people believe it, and he just said it to stir up some controversy, to cause some chaos, for lack of a better term. And that's sort of where a lot of people sort of adopt that name. And obviously, this is way more than... there were way more incidents that caused people to speculate this about Kyrie that were going on rather than just this one incident. And another incident that sort of stirred up was in Boston itself, where Kyrie Irving, he told everyone that he was planning on re-signing with the Boston Celtics. However, as the year sort of progressed, there was a lot more problems in the locker room around Kyrie Irving and the rest of the young stars. Now, the exact report is still a little bit unknown, but what was confirmed was that Kyrie Irving ended up calling LeBron mid-season and was talking about how he was apologizing for how he was behaving and the ultimate split in the Cavs roster. And obviously this was going to stir up some bubbles because Kyrie was talking to LeBron again. And then there were rumors circulating that Kyrie was going to play with LeBron once more, even though there was nothing indicating that before. And the main problem in the locker room with the Celtics and Kyrie was because he felt that he was supposed to be the number one option, yet here are Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown performing at a high level and somewhat attacking his position as being the best player on the team. And didn't really sit right with him, which ultimately caused him to seek a better option and play with Kevin Durant on the Brooklyn Nets. And Jesus, that's when the whole accusations of locker room like started to become global. Like, because Stephen A. Smith was being, since the Brooklyn Nets were in New York at the time, they were the center of the news for Stephen A. Smith and what he would always talk about. So in the beginning, Kyrie, he didn't really play that many games because he wasn't healthy and because he didn't want to. He refused to participate in the bubble, which immediately rubbed Stephen A. the wrong way, because it was like, why are the Brooklyn Nets offering Kyrie to play for so much money if he's not going to play? And this might have been like, in spite, like the talking might have been in spite because Kyrie chose to go with Brooklyn instead of New York. And given how Stephen A. is a New York Knicks fan, he might have felt cheated. But regardless of the reason, he was getting a lot of shade thrown at him by Stephen A. And even more shade thrown at him in the COVID year when Kyrie refused to take the vaccine. He believed in COVID-19, he just refused to take the vaccine for whatever reason, and this sort of prevented him from playing a lot of games, which thus ruffled the feathers of James Harden, causing James Harden to request a trade, and ultimately blowing up the entire roster entirely because of reasons. And Kyrie Irving requesting a trade to the Dallas Mavericks was the biggest reason as to why the Brooklyn Nets roster blew up and the team isn't where it is right now. But ever since he joined the Dallas Mavericks, there has not been one controversy around him other than the fact that he missed a few games because he was injured. Other than that, the Mavericks have been playing very well as a team, and they've been a major favorite to make it to the Western Conference Finals with Luka and Kyrie at the helm. And this is a complete 180 from the Kyrie that everyone thought they were going to get when he decided to join the Dallas Mavericks, because I'm not even going to lie. I thought that Kyrie was going to sit out a few more games than he normally did, and I genuinely thought that he was going to try to find any kind of excuse not to play a game, because he essentially, it felt like that's what he was doing on the Brooklyn Nets. And like, I understand like he didn't want to take the vaccine, but if you believed in the COVID, if you believed in the virus and you believed that there was an airborne virus going around, what was stopping you from taking the vaccine? It didn't really make any sense to me at the time. And I just, from a Brooklyn Nets fan and the perspective of a Nets fan, I genuinely thought that he was trying to find any kind of excuse to avoid playing a lot of these games for whatever reason. And I didn't like it. It wasn't fun. And Kyrie was one of my least favorite athletes when he was on Brooklyn, strictly because he just wouldn't play. I loved him when he played, but when he just chose not to, I was really upset, because it's like he has all of this talent, yet he refuses to display it and he refuses to use it for an NBA team. And I'm just like, why? It really doesn't make any sense. Luka Doncic also spoke on Kyrie Irving as a teammate, and he said, having Kyrie has been a blessing. I always say on the court, everybody knows what kind of player he is. Just off the court, he helps me a lot, not just me, but also the whole team. He knows how to win the championship. He's a very humble guy, great guy on the court and off the court. It's just been a blessing to be with him. This is what Luka said about Kyrie. And we haven't really heard of someone speak that confidently or that positively on Kyrie in a while, given the issues and the controversies that are brought up with him. Hold on just 1 second. But yes, that's sort of been the story around Kyrie Irving, and obviously, like, that's a little bit of the opposite of what we have to deal with now with the issue surrounding Kyrie, and there really is no more issue around Kyrie. Like, I thought that talking about Kyrie would have been something of importance. I would joke about it with with my friends when I'm like talking to them. I'm like, geez, there's nothing really exciting going on in the NBA apart from the playoffs. There isn't really like exciting news going on. Or even before the playoffs, there wasn't really like something exciting or something worth talking about. And as a joke, I'd throw in there, I'm sure Kyrie Irving is going to stir up some kind of controversy eventually. And because that's been the common theme of the NBA regular season ever since he left the Cavs. And I'm not trying to disrespect him in any way. That's just been a common theme that I've noticed. And there's several common themes. There's the Lakers thinking they're going to get every single star in the book, then the Lakers being disappointed with the stars that they get, then the Lakers being overconfident again towards after All-Star break, and Kyrie Irving stirring controversy. Jesus, hiccups were attacking me for no reason right there. But yeah, those were the major constants that were going on in that were going on in the NBA for the recent years. And that's sort of all I wanted to talk about. I am getting hiccups. I am actually getting a lot of hiccups right now. So I think I'm going to stop this segment right now. And with that, we're going to go into the third segment where I talk about Kawhi Leonard's availability. This is so embarrassing happening live. But regardless, I'm going to talk about Kawhi Leonard's availability for the Clippers game and the Clippers playoff series and how integral of a piece Kawhi Leonard is for this team. So I will be right back after this short break. Hopefully the hiccups are gone as well.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.